Alrighty, we are here for this boy's bad end number 2, and I don't have a good feeling about this because he's currently controlled, so somebody could get hurt real bad right now. But this is the only option we have to take for this bad ending, so let's find out what happens. I had to talk to him, try to get him back, but I wasn't sure how to reach him. This was my first time seeing this ability in action. I suppose I'd seen it before with Rory, but at the time I hadn't been as aware of Psy, so I hadn't been able to look at it the way I was now. The way the Psy was worked through Jack's body was on such a small scale. And it was violet. The only one with Psy that color was Castaway and Keto. It was king rank Psy. The only reason that would be necessary is if this was nanite manipulation. But that was for analyzing later. First, I had to talk to Jack. I wasn't sure he could hear me, but part of me was scared if I took some kind of dramatic measure I would hurt him. If I could just get through to him with words. I had broken this same hold on Rory, but it hadn't been intentional, so I wasn't sure how I did it. I'd been talking to him, and then when I touched his face, I'd have to try that same approach with Jack. I edged somewhat closer to him. Jack, can you hear me? He had paused, but he didn't look at me when I spoke. Jack, where are you going? It's late. You should be in bed. Hesitant and worried how he'd respond, I reached out to touch his arm. He jolted beneath me, like a spark of electricity had gone through his body, before yanking away and swinging his head my way. I thought he was going to hit me. But no, he grabbed me, yanking me closer and wrapping one arm around my neck as he pulled my body against him. There wasn't even time to choke out a scream as we scuffled in the dark. I clawed at his arms as I kicked my feet, trying to twist away from him. There was no way I had the ability to fight against his strength, and I was going to need to get serious about this, even if it meant hurting him. Wrapping my Psy around the lamp on the bedside table as Jack dragged me towards the window, I prepared to whack him with it, I guess. Then everything went black. The last thing I heard was the sound of the lamp crashing to the floor. And we're here again. I woke to darkness and a massive headache. Wherever I was, it definitely wasn't Cordis. There was dripping water, an acrid, wet smell with a hint of something metallic. There were sounds of movement, and raspy whispering. Fear gripped me as I tried to sit up, only to realize my hands were bound behind my back.
This isn't far enough. I can feel his eyes. There. I can still feel him. Where do we go from here? Where can we run?
Jack?
Quiet. You shouldn't be awake yet.
Gripping my head, I tried to work out what was going on around the throbbing pain. It was clear Jack was not himself. He was somewhere behind me, but I couldn't see him, only sense his presence. I shut my eyes and used my Psy to look around.
Stop it! He'll hear you!
I flinched at the sudden shouting, retracting my Psy on instinct as his hurried steps came my way.
This is why you can't be awake now. Just close your eyes so he can't find you.
Jack, I just picture him, like, bopping her over the head. And then darkness hit me again. From that time onward, we were moving non-stop. We'd roam at night and hole up during the day until we reached a place where there was no longer a discernible difference between the two. I spent a lot of time unconscious at first, because every time I even tried to talk to him, he'd knock me out again. There was one terrifying moment where he closed his hand over my nose and mouth, cutting my air supply until I blacked out. It was clear his connection was at least partially severed, but something had gone badly wrong. I couldn't say what it was, and I was unable to help, but his mind was damaged severely and he was no longer fully himself. That was obvious. He got riled up any time he sensed me using Psy. There was the possibility at first that I might have had the chance to escape. A few times when I woke and didn't speak, I probably had time to do it. I wasn't powerless, I could have attacked him with a psi burst or maybe teleported away. There were plenty of times I thought about it, but I couldn't bring myself to abandon him, and risking a fight might mean hurting him even more. If I left him, we'd probably never find him again. Leaving him meant accepting he was lost for good. I couldn't do that. But the more I watched him, the more I realized how broken the contact with that man had left him. It was clear he was trying to protect us both in his own way, to get us far beyond where anyone else was able to reach us. He reminded me so much of Rory when I first met him. Rory recovered, so Jack could recover as well. I just needed more time. Maybe there would be some kind of breakthrough. A moment he'd let me help him. A moment I'd figure out how. I just couldn't say how long I'd have to wait. I didn't know how many cold nights in old buildings I would last. And there were times... Oh, God. Hi, Endary Jack. How are you? Times I'd wake to hear his whispering voice, only to recoil from him and what he had become. I didn't want to abandon him, but I wanted to go home. I really wanted to just go home. That look! Oh, Castaway. Oh, gosh. I feel her in that moment, though, because I would struggle, man. Yeah, she, like, partially severed it when she touched him, but so he was, like, trying to keep them safe, but he was still connected, but not enough for Brennan to actually control him. What a mess. Ooh. Wow, that bad ending gave me the chill, something fierce. Wowee. Wowie, wow, wow. Whew. Alright. Well, I think that's definitely... I don't know. It's up there with Case's second bad ending for worst bad ending, I think. Yep, definitely memorable. Let's say that. Alright, only one more bad ending to go. See you there, guys.